What's up, everybody? I got the peach, the peach tea, and the Tom Ford bitter peach fragrance still left over from the previous video. Um, but this thing, man, I was thinking about we control blindness, we control disability, but we don't own it, right? We don't own it. And I want to get into that a little bit in the video um, and kind of explain what I mean and show how we can change the dynamics. And give you an example before we get into it is black people. Black people control cool, but they don't own it, right? We're the coolest people on the planet. You guys know it, but we don't own cool. It's sold back to us in the same manner that blindness and disability is sold back to us as a culture, as a community. So listen, on the other side, we're gonna jump right into it right after this. And we're back. So what do I mean by we control blindness and disability, but we don't own it? Well, think about it. Think about where the money is made when it comes to our disability. So we'll do a research project. They may pay us $25. That might get somebody out the bed. They'll even pay $100. Some studies they may even pay $250 if they can keep you there for, 5 or 6 hours, right? And they create this product, and then they sell it back to us, our community, our culture, for thousands of dollars. Well, all of that money goes into a tax write-off called research and development, right? But the profit after their losses is what they make. And the markup is so great because the demand is going to be high, but there's so few people to purchase that particular product. I mean, think about it. How many people in the world would need a modification to a car in order to drive it, right? And so they'll get with the individuals with the ambulatory issues and they'll say, okay, well, we can design this and this and it can adjust this way. And what do you think about this? Oh, okay, it's great. All right, here's your $100. Here's your $200. Here's your $500, whatever it is. All right, next thing you know, hey, they're coming out with a product that's going to, and it's great. I'm not knocking that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the technology that I'm afforded to use, such as voiceover. But guess what? I had a hand in creating what voiceover looks like for the blind, and it was a handshake. It wasn't sold back to me. It's free, actually, and it's the best in the market. But look at some of the centers for the visually impaired. They'll run fundraisers in the name of the blind or in the name of the disabled. And though they might be providing services, think about the directors and the staff. They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're disabled. Or the government who works in the vocational rehabilitation field. If you wasn't disabled, then they wouldn't have a job. But yet they make you feel like you're the one that needs them. And it should be a handshake. Yes, I need you, and clearly you need me because, but it is what it is. We don't own it. So one way to own disability and own blindness, let me take a sip. Let me give it to you. Hold on. Let me take a sip of this peach tea. One way to own it is to create a business and employ people with disabilities. Get in contact with these companies who's developing these products and be an integral part. Be a part of the centers for the visually impaired, the independent living centers, and be directors and VPs of these organizations. Get into VR and become a change that you want the world to see. Be self employed and employ others. And let's take what's ours because we control it because we're blind, because we're disabled. We have no other choice but to control it. But ownership, it's where it's at. I'll give you one more example. It's like email. Now, who's your email provider? Gmail, Prodigy, AOL, Yahoo. Okay. So, what happens when AOL goes out of business or Bell South goes out of business? Your email is gone. Comcast goes out of business. They switch over to Xfinity. Now you got to tell all your people, hey, I'm no longer at Comcast. I'm at Xfinity. It's not even a real word. But the beautiful thing about it is you can actually own your name, like FedoraOutlier.com. I own that. So even if all the other platforms that I have that I don't own, um, but I have control over it. I can send out an email from that address. I can receive from that address. I can stop the account and, filter the account. I got control over it, but I don't own it. So that's what happens. When you don't own it, you don't make the decisions. You're just a user of the product. And guess what? If you're not making the money and you're using the product, then the product being sold is you. So let's own, not only control, and let's change the world together.